This podcast is brought to you by GSC Cinemas, the horror movie Rosario who spends the night with her grandma's body in a snowstorm, which is something most of us don't really want to be in. During the snowfall, she is attacked by a lot of ghosts and entities and all that have taken control of her grandma's dead body. Win tickets to Rosario now. Just like the podcast either on YouTube and Spotify, comment below GSC movie tickets for me, please, and just DM us the screenshot to win a pair of tickets. So I'm going to repeat this. Like the podcast either on YouTube or on Spotify. Comment in the comment section, GSC movie tickets for me, please. Screenshot the comment, send it to us on Instagram, and win a pair of tickets. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed the movie Rosario. This podcast is brought to you by GSC Cinemas. Love you long time. Selamat kembali to Yamcha Sessions. Yeah, man. Gonna keep it spicy, man. You know, otherwise people are gonna keep hearing this. Today we're gonna be discussing, and I'm gonna butcher this, filial piety. Not the edible kind, but filial piety, which is, in short, I would say loyalty, like undying loyalty, respect.
Sign of appreciation, I think.
Yeah, to your
parents
or guardians or elderly, I suppose, right? Mm-hmm. So I think this is going to be a topic that a lot of us Asians would appreciate, I feel. And I'm going to narrow it down to 3 questions, right? But I think we should start off with what is your current experience with your parents? Like, what's your relationship with your parents when it comes to filial piety, or at least your past experiences, whatever. So maybe you can start with MJ. What about you, man? What is your experience with this? What is your relationship?
I think it's great, but I think because of the generation gap, it can never be very close. Like, for example, I don't confide in them any issues that I have.
You never talk to them about your problems.
For example, those who follow the podcast know that, I had a business split a while back, right? I only told my parents about it after everything was settled, not during.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So
how did they feel about it?
Of course, when they were listening to it, it was like a roller coaster. What happened? But after that, I just thought everything was settled. It's like,
Great.
So that's not necessarily the relationship for a lot of other people. So that is my relationship with my parents. There's respect, but of course there's pushback. There's
you're the eldest also, right?
Eldest, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'll go to Andrew after Uran because I think it's quite similar anyway, right? So we go to probably. Actually, I think quite different. Never. Yeah. Okay, we go to Uran. Ren.
Yeah.
What is your relationship?
I say it's okay, especially with my late father. I had a lot of. Back then I had a lot of good times with him. But I feel like boomers are different, bro. Because boomers, right? They almost treat their kids like their employees. You know what I mean?
I can read
so
literally
there's very little emotional connection, but a lot of
top down
act of service lah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of act of service. If you love me, do this for me lah. But I think take me rice and all this kind of bullshit lah.
Wow, damn, bro. But when you were younger, you were quite rebellious also, right?
I was, but I don't know how to say this lah, bro. Because with my father, a lot of times I had to do a lot of act of service. But in that journey of doing a lot of this act of service, there's this fine line or this gap where he opens up.
Oh, sure.
So when he opens up, right? That's for me, I saw it as an opportunity to connect with him emotionally. So I would bring up really ridiculous stuff lah, probably about career stuff. Not much about love, as in finding love and stuff like that, but more things to do that will help me progress as a male lah.
Oh shit! It's more life stuff, is it?
More life stuff that has
Or is it career
that
stuff?
relates to being a man, basically.
Oh.
So that kind of thing I can find
Common topic.
common topic with him. But in terms of the topic we're discussing today, like filial piety for me is just like just act of service to your parents lah.
So it's more acts for you.
More what?
More acts. Like you're just doing a lot of actions. Like if they ask you to do, then you do lah.
Services lah.
Damn.
Services, bro. My mother, I have to service 24/7. No lah. But I'm not joking, bro. I mean, like that's how I see it lah. But other
Bro,
people
you
can
are
see it
the
differently
most
lah.
loyal motherfucker I know lah. You are the most loyal guy. You will do everything for your family lah.
Words, it's pretty interesting, but anyways.
You are the most loyal of all, bro. I feel you will do everything for them lah. I feel like I'm the complete opposite lah. The older I grow, the worse I get, right, you know. The younger I am, I damn maximum, you know, loyal lah. I do whatever, you know. I recall distinctly, right, that my dad used to be so aggressive about the alarm of the house. So aggressive. It's like 12 a.m. You better be back. I don't care. I don't care what the fuck happens. You'll be back by 12 a.m. So every time I go out, I'm like, hey guys, it's already 11:30. I gotta go back. Fuck. I'm damn scared, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm scared. He's not gonna whack me, also. In fact, I honestly could beat him up, but you know. But like, I just follow lah, fuck. Then Andrew comes back from the US, right? And he's like, no, I come back from the US and I abide by the 12 a.m. rule. No?
What a fool.
I'm 21, bro.
Yeah.
22, I think. And Andrew's like, bro, I changed things already. Come back whenever the fuck you want.
I changed the system.
he kept coming back after 12 a.m. One day he came at 7 a.m. And then my parents are like, it's okay, he's like that already lah.
Golden child lah.
It's about conditioning. It's about conditioning.
Bro, for me, I was like, wow, the rule can be changed, you know. I thought I'd come back, you know.
So my philosophy at that very tender age is they are living life for the first time also. So they can set rules based on what they think is right at that point in time. But we're all living life the first time, bro. Things can change, man.
Yeah.
They don't know what's right and what's wrong. Who's to say what's right and what's wrong? Everything's very philosophical, very fluid. Try lah.
Wow,
Mold the system.
There's this quote, right, by this investor called Naval Ravikant. He said that,
Love that guy.
what did he say? He said that there are no adults, that everyone is just figuring out
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
things.
I feel so also lah. Everybody's figuring out.
No lah, for me, right, maybe it's because, right, when I was a kid, right, I just follow what they say only. So I was like damn scared to make decisions.
Yeah.
When they tell me to make a decision, I'm like, oh my God, my life can change depending on the decision. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much for me to handle. You ask me to go which school, I'm like, oh my God, which school? You ask me to take art science, which one? I don't know. Then I better take science. I need validation. I need you to tell me, like, at least majority people tell me. Then I'm like, okay lah. Majority people told me lah. I don't want to make mistake, you know. I'm fucking damn scared. So I feel like if they tell me, I just follow. I don't want to get into consequences, right? I said, I follow you, ma. So I've learned that over time, I'm like, oh shit, they also can make mistake, right? So
I think it's a fine way to live life as a kid, lah.
Yeah.
As a child. And I think for males who mature much later in life, easily before you're 23, 24, totally valid way to live life, lah.
Yeah.
Just follow the like herd mentality, just all the way, lah, right? Yeah, you're gonna fuck up to some extent, but you're not gonna fuck up horrendously, lah, if you follow the general consensus. Yeah.
But for me at that time, I damn fear lah. But I feel like as I grow older, wow, I damn anti-establishment now, bro. What the fuck it, I go late. I don't give shit. What are you gonna do? I come to work late. How are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I just come late lah. What are you gonna do? Just do it.
The interesting question about filial piety is that we're talking about okay, what one of the things that inspired me about this was because of life priorities. I think most people would admit that, you know, respecting your parents, honoring them, all that is good, right? But of course, as they say, devil is in the details, right? To what extent should you be able to do it? So one question that I always like to ask, right, is if your mother or your wife is drowning and you could only save one, who do you save?
Wow, bro.
I got an answer for that.
I have my answer already.
I choose. I say first, I drown myself.
Nah,
Then
bro.
3 people die, bro. It's okay.
I didn't have to choose.
That is not a
See y'all on
solution.
camp.
That's a problem, bro.
What's your answer?
My answer, I mean, I seen this in a reel before. I think I agree with the person. I picked my wife lah, because my duty when I married her was to be her protector. And when the duty and the person that is supposed to have the duty of protecting my mom is my father. So I will always pick my wife first, and then the rest is
Yeah.
Valid
in order lah.
rationale.
Yeah.
Valid rationale. My rationale is the question implies who do you love more?
Yes.
I think if I'm trying to answer that implication, or if anyone's trying to answer the implication, they will have a very difficult time to do so. So my decision making is not based on the implication of who I love more. It will simply be a utilitarian perspective. Numerically speaking, who
Will
has,
give me sex?
there's that component which I did not consider, but leads to the same answer. The component is who is going to live longer, statistically speaking. Yes. So it's strictly from a practical and logical perspective, you go with that route.
Damn.
So if it's my wife or my child,
I'll pick my child.
unfortunately, we have lived long enough, lah, it seems.
But to be fair, I think you're in that scenario, why it's less intense is because the higher chance is that your wife would want that decision also. However, in the case of wife and mother, your mother may not have the same,
Oh, for sure.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless she really likes your wife.
Not that much, lah. That's a lot of like.
So your question was you will die,
No lah.
You change your answer?
Save Jen lah, of course.
right? Yeah, so that's for me also. Now, the reason I ask this question is because I need to verify this. I don't know whether it's true. But apparently in China,
It's supposed to
the
give my
answer
mom.
must be the reverse.
I see.
And why is because of some people say it's because of twisted or not the understanding of filial piety. They brought you into this world, so you owe them.
Wow.
This.
That was your inspiration for this pod.
You can get a new wife, but you cannot get a new mother.
Wow, the
I don't know
loyalty is
about
quite
that.
mad, no?
I don't know.
You know,
about that, bro.
on a side tangent, but similar, I was in Changi Airport doing my tax refund, my GST tax. So I bought something, I want to get my tax money back. But my mom said, get USD for me because I'm going to US. I'm like, okay. So I go there, go to the counter. I was like, I want USD. The lady says, wow, everybody from Malaysia, Hong Kong also all want USD. They're like,
So
it is for my mom's request, not my request. She's like, wow, good son. Very good son. Then I said,
That's a standout impression, lah, bro. I know every auntie like that, bro.
bro, there were two of them, bro. Both of them had thumbs ups, bro. They were like, good son. Then I said, yeah. Then I said, that's, I said, you choose your mother over your wife. I'm like, I didn't even say anything,
Wow.
I just went, auntie, with all due respect, it's a vicious cycle. First, it will be my mom that say, choose my mom. After that, when it's my wife have a son or daughter, they will say, have to choose the mom. It is a vicious cycle. Then they just look at me. Wow, this guy went deep, went fast. Then I just walk away.
Oh shit, you left them pondering.
Yeah, you left them fucking.
It's a vicious cycle every time. Yeah.
Thought-provoking
I
stage, bro.
bet, I bet you, right, the moment you have a kid, right, your wife just, she's going to be like, I am number one now. I am the captain now.
Yeah.
I am the captain.
Straight away, sure, your default, right? You are actually secondary. You just go like, okay, now it's like character.
So of course the question is a very hypothetical one. Seldom, almost never you'll be put in that position unless you're on the Titanic or don't know what, right, with your family. But the more practical aspect of this is I actually used to date a girl who basically broke up because of this.
Okay.
It was quite bad because she already had a kid at that point in time.
Okay.
And she one of the reasons why she decided to break off with the boyfriend was because the mother would always interfere and say that because she's Christian, so but the mother insists she needs to go temple and all that. So she believes no, shouldn't she should be the children should be going to church. But in the end, the husband gave in to the mom. mom's wishes. So the
That's why she got the divorce.
contributing factor. Yeah.
Wow.
No, this is my kid. No, you can't.
That
So it's not just. I mean, the drowning example is it's a cartoonish variation of this, but the real one is this, right? There's going to be a tension potentially.
You see, my solution to that problem is very similar in principle to the drowning scenario.
So
Who
the
do
wife-
I spend more time with,
Yeah,
and who will give
correct.
me the most shit?
yeah, man.
I think
I'm gonna optimize for that
Who's gonna
route.
bear my child? Who's gonna do everything, bro? Yeah.
no,
100%.
the less shit is the real statement here. It's more not more shit. It's who gives me less.
Yeah lah.
Depending on the investment I have made.
Yeah, and like, I mean, in theory, you've moved out. You have your own roof over your own head, right? The pillow talk is not with your mother, lah.
Yeah.
Right. So
Of course, see, that's the thing, right? That is the more Western way of looking at things, where you favor the young more. Like I don't know if you all read Greek mythology. It's quite interesting. If you look at most,
Are you gonna talk about Oedipus complex? The one
no. Like, you know, if you read like Japanese mythology, right? What's the story you have? Is it Amaterasu?
The
And
sun
you got
god.
two, right? Inazagi and Inazami.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just a story, right? It comes from this, and this end up creating stuff. So you can see like there's a flow and there's an authority flow.
Okay.
And I don't remember the story whether these two actually end up fighting with Amaterasu.
Actually, it's
Do you
quite,
remember?
I think I've read about it before. Let me just.
No, but but the key point is this: in more Western or more purely Western kind of mythology, right? You have Zeus actually fighting Kronos. So Zeus is the child of Kronos, right? And the whole story was that these gods fought these titans, and the gods won in the end. That's why Zeus, Poseidon, and all that. But that's very different, right? To Asian ears, that's very different because it's the newest generation replacing the oldest one and giving more eminence. Whereas for Asians, the seniority is more.
yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming
I
from?
see where you're coming from.
So the myth, it's more Western. That's why you see people grow out of their parents, and you know they make their own decisions. Did you ever make that
since
connection
then.
before?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you all play God of War, right?
Yeah.
God of War is Kratos fighting against Zeus, what? God of War 3 lah.
And obviously you're playing as
Zeus
Kratos lah.
is Zeus is your father, what? Yeah. Your entire being is you're not just killing your father, your uncle, your mother, everybody also.
Yeah.
Wow. I never even saw it that way.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
quite low in ways I didn't even know. Fucking hell.
yeah, the Asian way is really different, huh?
Different.
Yeah. I think it's an Asian thing, bro. It's definitely an Asian thing. Like they hold you, and then they always have this kind of like ego over you. Like, hey, you know, I raised you, I fed you,
Sacrifice.
yeah, I gave you so much. You know, what is in return to me as you know, me as a parent towards you as a child. So it's always that case also with my father also, like, hey, don't forget bro. Not bro lah. He don't call me bro, but don't forget hey, I paid for that and stuff like. I mean he
will gently.
it's a very like how to say it a gaslight situation lah, right? I mean okay, my father don't do that very often, but
he will pull that card.
yeah, he will pull that card exactly. So this is a card where he pull when you're actually fucking up and like don't forget that you know. We raise you, that kind of thing, you know, that is something that he will always pull out when you are being overly rebellious, right? So I mean like, but for Asian cultures that I see like, for the whites, right, as soon as you're 18, you're out of the fucking
But they
house
kick
already.
you out with intention. I think that one is like.
They also have a very interesting mindset. They say that my kids weren't asked to be born in this world.
That's how I feel like.
Yeah.
Correct. So I chose to bring them in, and the world is filled with suffering, and I chose to bring them in. So it's my job to ensure that they don't suffer a lot, at least until 18. Then after that, they're off.
That's their.
That's like their mindset.
But holding back your child, right, is also holding back their independence lah. right?
Definitely lah.
I feel that way lah. I feel if my father was more, or my mother, both my parents were more westernized, I mean, I could have been more, how to say it, independent lah at the earlier stage rather than in a much later stage. Because you see nowadays, right, people in their like 30s are still staying with their parents, still, living under
Yeah.
the allowance of their parents.
But that
and
one also
stuff
could
like
be two things like I feel like. I know we're going a bit off tangent a bit, right? But I think that one is it's monetary and it's also responsibility to parents. Like I literally was having the talk with in Singapore also.
Yeah.
And we were talking about generations. So we were talking about like Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Y, and baby boomers.
Yeah.
And the Gen Ys all were talking about how they are the sandwich generation. So thankfully for me, I feel like I don't have that responsibility, maybe not yet, where you have to look after the older generation, your parents, whether it's health, whether it's requiring to do simple stuff day to day.
Yeah.
And then you have a kid.
Yeah.
So because you have both now, sort of like infancy where they require a lot of assistance, you are the only capable generation technically. If you're Gen X, Gen Y, maybe Gen Z. So because we are in that era where you're starting to maybe build a family, that type of thing, it's even tougher on us now because you are lacking both the money and the time to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the consensus that they're facing. So maybe it's not entirely they want to live with their
But
parents.
then, but if let's just say from the perspective of like the Western culture, if you send them out straight at 18 years old, they don't have any commitments whatsoever, right? Like what you explained there. They have to start early by earning money.
That's why the independence.
And that's why they grew that finances in a way, right? And then it's always this case, I mean, I noticed from watching movies and all this, they always revert back to going and show filial piety towards their parents. Of course, at the earlier stage, at 18 years old, they are a bit rebellious. Like, my mom kicked me out and my dad kicked me out. Like I feel like shit and stuff. But that is that phase where you are turning into an adult, right? You're hating life. Life is difficult for you. You're stepping up. You're slowly earning that finances, growing. And then when you reach a point where, oh shit, you reach an enlightenment, meaning you thought, oh fuck, this is actually how it's supposed to be, right? Like my parents is supposed to let me go. I'm a bird.
You set me free.
Yeah, set me free. And
Learn how
now,
to fly.
I really want to thank them.
Then you go back.
Yeah, then I go back into that system of being filial piety, rather than you keep whole
like a prisoner.
Yeah, like a cage like that to be. Hey, you have to be a filial piety son. You have to go market with me at the age of like 25 and stuff like that. You're just enforcing it.
But I also think
rather than having it a natural progression.
Yeah.
I think part of the fear is for Asian parents is also that
you're an investment.
That you mess up.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's for sure. But that you mess up. And the thing about your kids messing up, because I think for Chinese people also, they also have this mindset which is not as apparent for people in the West, where in the West, it's about individuals, right? So if you mess up, it's on you. But if, let's say, your kids mess up,
or your face,
a lot of them, like you are representing.
Yeah. That's a big picture,
you are representing like us, right? So there's
our values.
There's a lot of like secondhand shame and things like that. I think why people face the same thing also. I think when they see, like, I would imagine, what is that? Was it Ted Bundy or that famous serial killer?
Ted Bundy lah, yeah.
No, not Ted Bundy. The other one, the
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer, right? His father also felt. In fact, everyone was saying, "Hey, like, why are you feeling bad for your son? You did all you can to make sure." But he also felt secondhand embarrassment, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think it's way more pronounced here. So if let's say I let you go at 18, and then let's say inevitably you mess up, or like God forbid, they go worst case scenario, you start taking drugs and all the bad stuff, right? Then they feel a failure, they feel ashamed, angry, and all that.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it, lah.
I think
Not justifying. I'm just saying that's what's going inside.
I think it's, for me, it clicked lah. Like there's a coherence there lah.
Yeah.
But maybe it's better if, let's say, over time, the younger generation learn that there is the West and there's the East, and maybe there's some middle ground. That there are ways like you said that there are two paths lah, basically that you laid out, right?
yeah.
One is the fucking up and then learning, and then one is like you are caged,
Yeah.
but then you somehow rebel later on, and then you are free.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future you are so freaking like big brain, right? They're like, I know both already. You want to set me free? You want to keep me? I know how to Itachi my way around. Chill lah.
I feel it should just be ultimately an open conversation between child and parent.
Yeah.
How each party wants or can find a middle ground.
I think the kid deserves that lah, because technically you brought the kid in without his permission or her permission lah. You can't just like, boop, baby comes out, baby grows up, baby gains consciousness, baby gains like this whole like, whoa, the world, why I can make choices, and then you refuse to give it any, you limit it. It's not fair lah, I feel. You know, it's not a pet, right? You gotta have like conversation, you gotta ask like, personality may be different, mixture of you and your wife. So I think when you have that open dialogue, they grow a lot faster lah, compared to even if, let's say, Western way, set them free, let them fuck up, or you keep them in a cage, still also a bit.
It's the same lah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, I feel.
Really?
Yeah, if you have a conversation with the kid, at least you know like, oh, this personality is a bit. You can ask like, hey, you want to try or not? You want to move out or not? Or you want to stay? You know?
Yeah. You should just have that discussion. I think it's very dependent on the personalities of the parents, their upbringing, personalities of the child by nature and nurture combined.
Yeah.
There's too much nuance. There isn't necessarily a one size fits all in this kind of context, right? It's like collectivist individualism. There is no one is better than the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a spectrum, right? You have to figure out. I mean, like some kids, like there's this guy, Patrick Bat David, right? The guy runs.
Oh shit.
There's a very interesting quote that his dad was very strict on him. You know, he's not Asian, but he's Persian,
white,
which is like
Hey, he's Persian.
he's Persian, yeah.
Oh shoot.
He has an interesting view where he said, suddenly in his 30s, you know, the dad suddenly became much more chill. That's like almost like a switch, you know.
Wow.
Like what happened, you know.
Yep.
So he tried with his dad, and then his dad says, there's a line of thinking out there where the way you should treat your kids is like a friend.
Yeah.
Right? But his dad had a different view. He said that, because he asked the dad, like, why are you so strict and all that? And he said, you know, the reason I don't treat you as a friend at that age is so that I can treat you as a friend at 25.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think that, I feel the same way with my dad also in that way. Yeah.
Right? Like at 25, 30, suddenly there's a switch. So
There's
now
a
they talk to
switch,
you, but
like,
with more you can never get like full equality, but
Yeah.
there's
It's a bit more casual.
Yeah, it's a bit more
chill, right?
casual. I mean,
You meet
he
in the
treats
middle,
you,
you know?
he really treats you like a friend,
Adult,
lah,
yeah.
like a friend at home, you know. Yeah.
I'm starting to reflect on all my conversations I have with my mom and my dad. I feel like I was so filial piety up to like maybe 25, 26. Then after I just hit the big button, fuck it, man. After like, not good.
Yeah, because you were so dependent on it
Yeah.
at one point,
Yeah.
right? Dependent on your parents, and then you're just like, I think it's time to set myself free. Because I mean, it's in the back of your head, like thinking, when am I ever going to have my own say in things and
Yeah, man.
have a more, have a high level decision making, chances and stuff like that.
Or at least you just choose to be happy lah. You do
Yeah.
things that make you happy lah,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
More than doing it for others. I mean, it's not to say you cut off completely lah, that type of thing, right?
No lah,
it's not
no,
too
no.
harsh.
No, but I also see like a negative in this Asian way of filial piety, because I don't know lah, I know I go to a lot of houses, right? There will be just this one daughter or one son that
Yeah, bro.
that
Dedicate
is-
their life to that shit.
dedicate their
Yeah.
life to their parents, like they are like the ultimate employee that is super loyal.
You're now one
They
of
will-
my favorite
Yeah,
employees.
They will never leave their parents' side.
Employee of the
Yeah.
month in the family home, bro. The plaque there, bro.
Because I won't say name lah, but I know a specific family that has auntie that dedicated her life to her mother, and as soon as the mother passed away, she was already like in her 40s,
Okay.
or like late 40s or maybe mid 40s. She couldn't do anything with her life. She's just jumping from family to family and taking care of like their kid. Yeah.
Oh damn.
She turned into like, I mean,
nanny,
I don't want to say it so badly, but she turned into
a nanny lah.
a nanny lah. Yeah.
Oh
a nanny.
damn. But maybe that's like something that that person finds joy in also lah. It's like caring, loving, upbringing, you know, that thing.
I don't know, man.
Is
I
it?
don't know, man.
Oh.
I feel like everybody has their own path to create their story,
Definitely
their life,
lah.
and everything.
But the shaping is so important,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. But you wouldn't want to die alone, what?
100%. But there are some people who just, it's also comfort lah, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes like, you know, for example, we all grow up in different ways, right? Different things happen to us. And then like when you start working, then you just do the work and then you get into a rhythm. And then when you get into that rhythm, it's quite hard to break, you know.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to break, you know. Unless you like
It's called Stockholm syndrome, lah, bro. You're just deep
to
into
to that guardian lah. But if let's say, for example, if that person found someone that person like likes to hang out with, I think immediately you just kind of detach. You kind of like, oh, I like to hang out with that person more. Ultimately, right, you won't be so Stockholm syndrome one. You want to spend time more with like the girl or the guy, if you're gay also, whatever. You like more ma. So it's just that comfort zone, you know. You know, if you're in that comfort zone, like, oh, I think it's just easier to take care of my mom. Like, I don't need to be like rejected by girls. I just take out my mom lah. You know what I mean?
True, true.
It's possible, bro. Then after that, you just grow
You're
up.
familiar with that one woman and the other women you.
Yeah. It's possible also lah.
yeah, yeah.
But I know a lot of people like that also. It's quite sad
Yeah,
lah.
bro. But whereas if it's in a Western scenario, they'll be kicked out and then they'll find their own life, right?
But I know
And
a family.
It might bloom, it might not.
Yeah, but I know a family
Yeah.
who moved to the US, Asian as fuck, but then when they moved there, all their kids, Asian also, suddenly just feel very detached, man. Then,
Detached from
That is the Western extreme.
bro, it's
Where
very
they
extreme, bro.
Like Zeus and
Like at the,
Kronos are, right?
yeah, they don't even,
pure conflict.
like bro, you know, just for context, right? I think all of us, when you move out also, you will feel some form of like, bro, I need to go see my parents at least once a month, at least lah. At least lah. Bro, even my dad, until he was in his late 40s, is driving back to Malacca once a month to see his parents, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
His fear piety level next level, bro, but unsaid one.
That's
You know?
also a nice routine, lah.
Like you ask Chester, if you're listening to this. Chester's like, bro, I gotta go Malacca, bro. I'm like, why? My parents will fucking kill me lah if I don't go. I'm like, they won't kill you, bro. They're like, but he wants to do it. He's like, no, I gotta do it.
Yeah, that's by choice already.
Yeah, but the moment you cross that ocean, right, you go to a Western society, right? I tell you, suddenly, like, I don't know why, man. It's
You're
like,
saying there's detachment, lah.
bro, you ask Andrew? It's crazy detachment.
Once a year is a blessing by their standards, I think.
Yeah.
It's mad, bro. And they're Asian as fuck also, you know. I'm just saying, you know, like, core things like, hey, you want to eat like Chinese food or whatever, or you want
Because I guess that they emphasize a lot on self happiness, self fulfillment to the unhealthy extreme. Lah.
Yeah.
It's quite
But there are also
hardcore.
people in the West, I know they don't visit, but they call their parents. They speak on the phone 3 hours every
Yeah.
week or every 2 weeks.
But I feel
So I say
it's
it's
so
a
wild.
spectrum,
lah.
yeah.
But it's so wild.
Yeah.
lah.
It's a spectrum.
Because if for me, I cannot imagine that. lah.
They are probably thinking we are the ones who are fucking insane.
You
Go
think
back
so?
home once a week, see your parents. They probably think we're on the other side of the extreme.
Yeah.
There's way too much interaction.
But I feel that's all you have also, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I'm team where I am, right? But I'm just saying, like, you know,
Well, I feel like it's a balance in your your support group, lah. They are part of your support group, right?
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
support system.
the
You're
imagination
putting like coins and like this one
Ah.
to stack up, like, you know, a very healthy like
balance.
Yeah, balance, right? So
But to me, in my head, it's like, I keep thinking, right? Let's say I have a kid, okay? Sure argue, sure get them pissed, whatever. We'll have good memories at the same time and all that. But be damn happy if the kid wants to spend time with me. Lah. Like I wouldn't say that I'm more westernized or that. I'll be quite sad, right? If my kid one day goes like, hey dad, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go live in like, God forbid, Singapore. I'm gonna move to like some other country, lah, right? And then I'm like, okay lah, go lah. Then he's like, hey, I'm gonna visit only once a year, okay? I'm quite busy. I'm like, okay lah. I'll say okay lah.
Yep.
But I'll be quite sad.
But to be fair, with FaceTime and all that, I think that doesn't that smooth things
Eliminate-
better?
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like if let's say I'm in my 70s,
Yeah.
my 80s, right? Even if I, let's say, hey, bro, we go gym, bro. 80s, we'll still go gym, we all work out, all that. But then I go back home, right? It's just Jen and I. It's like you kind of want to have time with your kid too, lah.
Yep.
Like your kid, like, hey, I'm around town today for dinner. Or just because
Yeah.
you're only coming by once a year, then only have dinner that type of thing, just because you're on time. I feel quite sad lah.
So that's the thing, right? That's why the transition of you being a dad, I think, to become more like a friend, right? You need to pace that well because like okay, we can why this obligation thing is powerful is because it's a blunt force instrument, right? It's a blunt instrument, right? You just put it there, you guilt trip your kids to come back and visit you and all that. But of course, the knock-on effect is resentment, or people just do it because
Obligation.
yeah, you just have to do it, right? It's like
But it's not because you're a cool
like
person.
Qingming or whatever, lah, right?
Yeah, it's not because they like you.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? So I think the parents need to adopt the mindset. Ironically, both West and East, right? Both also want their children to like them, right? I don't know any parent who say I don't want my children to like me or anything.
Yeah.
They have to think more in terms of honey rather than vinegar. This obligation, this guilt trip, gaslight, whatever, it's all vinegar, and it works until a point.
Yep.
But I think at some point you have to say, okay, what's the honey? What's going to keep them want to come back?
Yeah.
Right? Like in my case of my grandfather and my dad always want to visit him because my grandfather, he gives good advice. He chats.
He's a chill guy.
See around TV, talk. Like so. It makes it attractive, right? For my dad to
go back.
So then problem solved, right? There's no discussion on this is just it's a great relationship. I don't want to mess that up. It's no different from friends, lah, right?
Yeah.
True lah, because CH quite dick lah.
You know what I mean? But I do have one other question as well.
Sorry, man.
So earlier on I gave you all this hypothetical. So this is a new hypothetical, right? So we have talked about like compared to your own wife or children or whatever, right? So how about this one? Say your parents commit a crime. Do you report?
How severe is the crime?
He stole a car.
Sorry?
Stole a car to tax fraud, to there's civil crimes. Then of course,
Probably
you have.
I'm loyal,
killing.
so I have to.
I probably wouldn't lah. Unless the fella, if they like my parents killed somebody, I'm like, oh my
Let's say okay. So
God,
let's say
man.
in that case.
Yeah, my life also is in danger. Like people around their lives are in danger. Then I'll
There's a nuance to murder.
Yeah.
Is it in cold blood or is it manslaughter?
Wow, what the
Cold
fuck is this?
Wow.
Is this what Law and Order?
I draw the line at manslaughter, right? So if it's manslaughter, if it was just unintended lah, is the layman term, right? Unintentionally killed someone,
Oh shit, yeah. Oh.
I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna report you.
Same.
So there's a nuance here. Yeah, that nuance is extremely important.
Bro. I'm just saying the way
If your dad is Ted Bundy,
mate, that one is too many accidental murders.
Okay, so
already,
I funny enough, at that end of the spectrum, I'm still not reporting him. I'm just gonna fucking fuck off. If I report him, he's gonna come after me, bro.
That's
no,
true.
no, no.
That's
fuck
true.
that.
I
Okay,
mean-
but if you can get away with it, like if you are
report
protected.
lah. No, I kill him straight. Fuck
No,
it.
let's say
I'll
you won't be killed.
I'll do
right?
it myself.
Hypothetically speaking,
I'm
lah,
Thanos.
I would report him.
Right.
But if it's like malintent, if it was
Okay, so
intended,
that's the
then I would
extreme version, right? So I think most of you will report, right? I don't know if
I will.
report. But manslaughter, I won't.
Manslaughter.
okay,
no,
fine.
for me, I will report if it's murder.
No,
lah.
like
You wouldn't lah. If murder. God damn, this guy,
Interesting
you
question,
know. This guy fucked up.
no lah, bro. I mean, I agree with Andrew. I mean, to a point lah. Like, let's just say how severe is this? Like, it's the spectrum again, right? If he's Ted Bundy, if my dad's Ted Bundy, I'm just gonna leave lah. I'm
Run
sorry
away,
that I
lah.
love you, but I'm just gonna leave lah. Yeah.
The punishment must
Yeah.
be more severe.
You will get found out in the end lah. That's what I mean, right? So like, but if he unintentionally killed somebody,
Yeah.
lagi I won't tell lah. Like, like I just say, you know what?
It's okay.
I help you hide the body lah.
We'll chop it up, we'll put it in a bin, we'll bury it somewhere in Terengganu.
No lah. But this is an interesting question. It really is an interesting question. But it's also testing your loyalty to your parents and your
Bro, I
family.
bet even if you're
Yeah.
white, you probably wouldn't say it. I'm just saying.
I
man.
don't think any of us will say will
So-
report.
Yeah.
To be honest, do you really think you'll report?
Would
your
you?
dad?
if you kill,
Pause.
if you kill the cold blood, then the answer will be yes.
Okay. Nick's asking a question. You what is a podcast or what? Okay, Nick was listening to a podcast. Okay. Is a case where the father, the father killed the mom. Okay.
Fuck.
Oh, I report because if he can kill family, he can kill me. Right?
No, again, is it intended or not intended?
Is she leaving an inheritance?
You run a finance channel, my guy.
It must be to my name.
yeah. That's how you know what's the content.
So okay lah, for inheritance Okay. So that's why lah.
Okay, so it's cold blood lah. It's intended murder lah. Then report. Easy job.
Okay, so so that's one very. So the extreme is except you run, we all do it, right?
Yeah.
What if it's not so extreme like tax fraud, but it's a jailable offense, and it's also a societal thing, right? If you don't pay taxes, that's bad. So he's actively avoiding taxes, or maybe carjacks.
Carjack. I'm quite surprised he can carjack.
Or is in drugs.
Is he a dealer?
Yeah, he's the dealer, not taking drugs. He's the fentanyl.
Fentanyl. Okay. Not helping himself. Okay.
Do you report?
No, on all counts.
Yeah.
What is the
agree with
what
him.
is the reasoning?
Say tax fraud.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad because it's a sort of a slippery slope argument, right? Like if one person doesn't pay their taxes,
Yes.
right? And if I expand that into if everyone doesn't pay their taxes, then society crumbles. Right?
Yes.
So it's bad at the scale, like depending on the scale of things.
It's also because you use public goods.
Sure. Right.
So you're freeloading.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But if you look at it as an individual, it is inconsequential.
Yes. Okay.
Assuming, of course, he's making an average living lah. He's not making 50.
So
billion
that
a
would
year,
change
right?
if he was Robert Kwok. So if your dad was Robert Kwok.
I would have to do the math
Yeah.
to see if that has a substantial impact to the country. I think even at Robert Kwok level, I don't think it's because you're in aggregate lah, right? Across all income taxpayers, you're probably grand scheme of things very small impact.
Yeah.
So very likely my answer is no,
Okay.
because net the impact is very small.
I probably wouldn't lah. Like I said, I think I only report if.
Is the answer same for drug trafficking?
That's tricky.
Okay. I have an answer for drug trafficking. Is it to kids? Oh, if it's to kids then.
The drug traffickers don't care who does it go to. It's just people buy it.
Hey man, I don't know, man. It's like to teenagers.
There's no
and shit.
niche.
I don't know lah. For me, both
No kids, man.
This both question is almost similar. Like killing and doing all these crimes are like for me the same level of no lah, right?
Yeah.
But it's like this. Do you share same principle with your dad? Or not? Because if you are the kind of guy that say, oh yeah, I like doing this shit also, pa, then of course you're gonna follow him lah, right? That's full filial piety.
Gang,
But if you disagree with everything that he does, you're gonna report him lah. Right? It's
Not
valid
necessary
for
lah.
that.
Valid also lah.
Not necessary.
I feel that way lah. That's how I feel it lah. But if I grew up with my dad and I shared the same principle as him, meaning I have witnessed him do all these crimes, do all these killings, and I myself subconsciously tell myself, I like what he's doing. Then I will
My guy.
follow him. Yeah.
For sure.
Of course, I will not report him and all this kind of thing. But then if in the case that I have friends or whoever, or my mother is the total opposite that actually influenced me to be
A better person.
a better person,
And
and
see,
seeing my dad do all this,
you
there
report.
will be a detachment there already.
Will you report?
Yeah, but so
I
that's-
would
right.
immediately report.
Right.
So it's like, what is that connection
Yeah,
between the son?
so I
and
think
the
if I
father?
can just sharpen the question a bit,
Yeah.
the assumption here is that you believe it's wrong already. In all scenarios, whether it's carjacking, drugs, killing, you
Okay.
believe it's wrong already, right?
Okay.
The question is whether do you go and report?
I'm still not reporting. First of all, it's too mafan to report.
Okay.
So I'm not reporting. That day I saw a guy burning a tree called 999. The guy was like, "Dia bakar sekarang." So I mean, is he burning it now? Then I was like, I don't know, this was 15 minutes ago. Said, just go report to the police station. Then I just like, I'm literally speaking to you right now. Then the guy was like, just go report to the police station. Then he hang up the phone on me. Then I'm like, thanks.
Okay, fair lah.
999.
That's a Malaysian problem.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, 999.
That is
a
a
Malaysian
service
problem,
problem, bro.
So I'm not reporting.
But
lah.
no, but I'm just saying, assuming there's no such.
You have to make a police report, you know how long you have to wait. You have to
Yeah, but
fucking
assuming
drive there.
there's no such friction lah. That
park.
you can just.
Super Darling is a mess.
I still wouldn't report lah. So if you take into account, I think I'm just self-justifying this,
Sure.
lah, right? But if you take a look at like drug trafficking, of course the ramifications of that is disastrous. The way I would justify me not reporting it is, end of the day, the drug addict makes the choice to take the drugs.
Okay.
Ooh, damn, that's some philosophy right there.
So is it wrong for the seller to sell the drugs? Of course it is. You're endorsing all of these actions.
It's
at a
also
state
wrong
level.
to even have drugs in the country.
Right. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's legally speaking. I'm thinking more from a moral and philosophical perspective, lah, right?
Okay.
So it's wrong, yes. End of the day, you still made the choice though, as a buyer.
Okay.
The user.
So nah, probably won't report.
So everyone won't report. So now, then I'll just add a new variation to this.
Jesus.
To this. The police suspects that your parents are doing this, and they are engaging in investigations, and you are one person that they're going to interview.
Law and Order
And so they
Special
will
Victims Unit.
ask,
If you're an accomplice.
no. Are they doing it?
Bro, this is
Do
Breaking
you-
Bad, bro.
Do you?
They're investigating.
They're investigating. So drug trafficking. You know your dad is. They suspect is drug trafficking.
So they come
So they
up to
ask
you. I'm in the room and they're interviewing me.
and everything is under oath for everything.
I will say. I will say. I will say. I will.
100%, I will plead ignorance.
You will plead ignorance, ah?
Yes.
Damn. I will.
100%, I will plead ignorance.
Even though you know.
Yes. This is, of course, assuming that there is no paper trail implying that I actually know lah. Right? I wouldn't be so stupid as to lie in that fashion. But assuming there's no paper trail, I plead ignorance. You may find your evidence elsewhere, and if you draw that conclusion on your own via other
Bro, they confirm no one.
evidence,
They
go for
confirm no one. There has to be some form of maybe not paper trail. Maybe it's something a little hint of a WhatsApp. Like, hey, I'm back. Some shit like that, you're like, back. That's it. I know
you
already.
see, like-
There's a code name for it. Maybe it's identify a consistent word.
The supply is coming in.
Don't even say supply. Like, arrive. D. bro.
I am a firm believer, okay, that Hollywood movies portray this narrative that all crimes lead to the criminal getting caught.
Oh,
I am a firm believer that in reality,
not many get caught.
I would be surprised to see even 10% of crimes actually reaching a conclusion in which the correct criminal was caught. I would be genuinely impressed if 10% was achieved.
Wow.
I fucking bet it's below 5.
Unless Singapore. I think Singapore. higher.
Sure, yeah, those guys on top of their game, lah, right? But in general, right?
Yeah.
Just murders in the hillbilly parts of Pulau, God knows fuck all, right?
Yeah.
No one's gonna fucking know. There's
She's
no
got a
way.
solid point. I could bring a guy to pull out fuck all and kill the guy right now.
No one's
The guy
gonna know.
knows no one's gonna catch me.
Yeah, like what conclusion do you draw from that? Yes, you file a missing persons report. People who knew that person will say, "Hey, where's this fella?"
Altan
right?
to ya?
6 months down the line, right? Things settle down. 6 years down the line,
Avocado
fuck,
toast,
nah,
nobody-
It's all sunshine daisies already, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be impressed if it's
What's
10%.
your answer, bro?
Oh, for sure, I'll say yes. Sir. No, but I would. My answer is that I would already report already.
How from the get go?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's like if it's carjacking and all that, it's not.
It's not that bad, lah. That one.
Yeah, maybe lah. But that's just due to laziness. But if it's drug trafficking, murder, I'm reporting. I'm taking a proactive stance on that.
Manslaughter also you report. lah.
Well, it depends on the manslaughter. Like for example, I think
Even at Pulau fuck all.
if manslaughter, I would think that my parents will just report themselves. For example, if let's say an car accident, they will report
Sure.
that one, right? Or if it's in self-defense, someone attacking and then by defending you kill the other person, that's manslaughter, right?
Yep.
That's also
I guess
Part of
the premise here is your parents will not self-report, lah. Right? That's
if
what
they
makes
don't
the-
self-report.
Ah.
Yeah. So then the first one I ask why aren't you reporting? Why are you hiding? That's my first approach.
So I mean the fear I suppose I'm putting myself in your hypothetical parents' shoes, lah, right? The fear is, of course, I get charged for it, and I'm guilty for. They don't perceive the court doesn't perceive it as manslaughter. They perceive it as actual murder. I go to prison for a long time for something in reality I didn't intend to do.
Yeah.
Right. So
so that can I can adjust for that, like, because that's the issue with the courts, that we may not get either a fair trial or maybe again, assuming that the manslaughter was legit lah, in the sense, like, let's say like self-defense is the clearest example of righteous manslaughter, right? In those cases, I was still convinced that, look, if you have the evidence, we can point out, and maybe the fact that you go and report is already building your case.
Oh, that's true.
But if you are in a court system that does not allow that, then I can adjust and say, yeah, maybe not. In that scenario.
okay, what if it's like a scenario like this, right? You're driving on Karak Highway, it's super dark, right? Your parents are driving. Your parents hit something.
Yes,
right?
as a person.
It's too dark. They don't necessarily know what they hit. Fast forward a week later, found a dead body there. They ascertain that it's the person that they hit the person.
At the same time, or
But
whatever.
they wouldn't know it's that person because they can't see the person, right? Because
Not for a fact lah.
Well, because they are Indian,
yeah.
is it?
So maybe, yeah. So then, like,
I'm asking on behalf of Poige.
your parents have an inkling that they murdered this person, but aren't necessarily sure about it.
Oh, they're not sure, then they can just...
Then we all just walk away scot.
But it's quite
scot-free lah.
distinct, right? If you hit, you will feel proud.
No, because the assumption here is it's dark. He cannot see a person. So he hit the person that you feel is a person. Well, first of all, you should... Okay, in that specific case, if it's on some dodgy highway, I might just keep driving because it might be a trap.
Oh, that's
Sure.
true.
Right, in that
fair
case.
enough.
But let's say theoretically we are not in Malaysia and it's a safe country, but somehow it's very dark and it's not dodgy, then the first thing is I would go down and
No
check it out.
fucking
Okay.
way. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way you're doing that.
No. in
You
a
weren't with your
non-dodgy
parents.
country.
There's no fucking
You
way.
weren't
dude.
with your parents. Your parents just were driving, just the two of them. They hit the person.
Okay.
Then a week later, they found out on the news that someone died on that highway.
Yeah.
Then they think they killed the person. They aren't necessarily very sure about it.
So would you still report?
Then what do we do then?
Because your car got dent also,
here,
ma.
here, assuming you have no dash cam, nothing, right? No physical evidence. Then this one is because my parents are not trying to hide something in this scenario, right? It's like, is it me? Is it not me?
Well, they have an incentive to hide because
To avoid the hassle, lah.
they have to then prove for a fact
Yes.
that they are innocent. They could not see
Yes,
the
but,
person.
but in this specific scenario, because I'm the one with the question, right? I do not have any good evidence that they did it.
Because the question to MJ now is, would you report, ma?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But in my knowledge scope is,
He wasn't there,
I don't
ma.
know, could
Sure.
be, could not be.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I in that sense, I've very little obligation
To report.
or virtuous obligation to report because I can literally I can use what you said, which is plead ignorance because
Sure,
I'm
sure,
literally
sure.
ignorant.
Yeah,
So I can just say I don't know. I mean, but I'll just tell them like, if you feel like it's your inkling, then go ahead and report. Like, if you really feel strongly about it in that scenario, lah.
I don't think many people would.
I know.
Actually, now when you say that, like, maybe crimes don't get found out. honestly.
No fucking way they do lah.
Yeah. And just to add to your point, right? You were saying like if you're in a very safe country and driving the highway and it's really dark, I doubt you get down. I doubt it.
Because it's dark.
Bro, I tell you, it's fucking scary, man. It's fucking scary. It's dark,
Maybe it's a cow. So
Motherfucker, how many movies you need to see, right? To know, right? If you hit something
It's
in the dark.
Pontianak, bro. If it's Karak Highway, it's a
You are
fucking
lucky to
lake.
see a
Yeah,
dead body, bro.
I tell you, you'd be scared, right? If you saw a blood trail, and the fella cannot find body. My God, fuck this. You'll be regretting why you even fucking slow down the car, bro.
Yeah,
It's so
but
scary, man.
It's very, very open question, lah. This one. I feel like there's a yes and no here, lah, bro.
I'm not reporting. Fuck that. There's no point.
but
Fella tell me to go police station. I'm
the
like, no
first
parking,
question,
sorry.
If there's an investigation that you will say yes, lah. I will say yes. If there's an investigation, I won't obstruct.
Yeah lah. I will assist lah. Because if it's an investigation, that means it's serious, man.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, if there's evidence, the police showed you the evidence that your father or your parents killed that very person.
That one don't need to what already, man. Don't need to report him, man. That one.
Wait.
the
That's
drugs one.
different. So that's a bit different. That that is not so much an investigation per se. I mean, it can be part of it. That is more, I'm really giving you the evidence that your parents, I'm trying to convince you your parents did it.
Yeah.
But the scenario I'm painting is I'm now collecting evidence, either in the form of hard evidence or testimonial evidence, which is talking. Now I want to know what people say. Because in an investigation, you don't know what exactly happened. So one of the first things you do as a police is you go and take everyone's story.
Yeah.
And then you try to match. Once you start seeing stories that don't match, that's your trail to dig further.
Inconsistent storytelling.
So what you're describing is more like further down the road where there's a lot of evidence with it.
Yeah.
But now I'm just collecting evidence. So I'm just ask you, you know for a fact that your parents are drug traffickers. And I'm asking you.
You know already. You know.
And just to add on to Andrew's points, you can plead, or rather you there's no evidence that you know.
Yeah.
But only you know.
Yeah.
Bro, that one,
you say?
I tell you, your parents did a fantastic job. They deserve not to be reported.
Yeah.
That one, it's like really they covered their ass, you know.
Yeah.
It's like quite crazy, you know.
But
like
for
that
me,
one, they're like,
I will not.
That one, the
obstruct.
code
That's
is
it.
not the parcel arrive. You know. That one is my Shopee delivery arrive or some shit like that. You know. They
Unless-
must so come, you know.
Unless I feel unless my parents are huge, big time drug. So let's say if my parents
Like
was
narcos,
El Chapo,
Ah,
right, or they were CJCN, right, these top cartels.
then you report her.
No, that I won't report.
Because you don't die, right?
Well, that's one. But in line with what I think is virtuous, I will do everything I can to get myself protected from my family in the likely event that they will now go after me. Because there are many people in like the cartels who
They buy over the police, really, bro. That one gone.
yeah.
bro.
So if I can find, let's say if I can get protection by the US government, let's say
Man.
the US
I don't know,
whatever,
man.
or the FBI, whatever lah, right? I will try to work towards something like
But
that.
you would
Secure my
go
safety.
So you want to go out of your way to find your security in order to report something because it's that bad.
Because it's
The right thing to do.
It is the right thing to do, and of course it's harmful, lah, right?
I don't know.
But I will not be very proactive in this specific. Like again, if my dad was El Chapo,
Yeah.
This one is
this is a different, completely different. So now you have to exercise.
it's a chess game, bro.
No,
This
yeah,
one.
you have to exercise some in this case some wisdom, right? Where okay, I know it's wrong, but I think there's better way. It's like what Trump is doing, right? It's like yes, a lot of the complaints that he makes is legit, but don't like just randomly pick a formula and whack tariffs,
You wouldn't, right? Nick is saying he wouldn't report, so I'm just saying.
I
for the
don't know,
record.
bro. I feel like it's like a game of testing your loyalty, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and then
correct.
and also on top of that, right, is how well can you sleep?
Mm.
How well can you sleep after saying you reported your parents or you don't report your parents?
Yeah.
When you put yourself in that two perspective, and you ask yourself, I can sleep well, knowing that I reported my dad.
And I just want to add, sorry, there's a difference between what I would and what I should. So what we would do is very hard to ascertain here in an aircon room discussing here.
Because
right?
you're in the
At
pressure cooker,
moment,
different.
you
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
You may not, right? That like truly reveals like your
True character.
right?
Yeah.
But in this scenario, we are talking about what should we do lah. What would is this?
I mean, if you put in that perspective, morally you have
Yeah.
to lah.
I can tell you
Morally you have to, but
for sure, if like what you said, right? Can you sleep at night? For sure. After you said that, I'm like, if I knew the repercussions of what their actions were directly. So if like drug trafficking, I saw a kid shooting up in the alley, and I saw that because it's the same drug that my
Your
family.
parents supply.
I sure cannot sleep. I know for a fact I will report it. I know it already. I know my character. I cannot sleep. I cannot hide. I'm like, no, I can't.
but what
I can't.
if you're damn fucking loyal to your parents?
I don't think I can
So
sleep.
you
is-
you bring out a good point, like you as well. The reason this question is here and the reason why I add in all these little
Nuances,
scenario changes is because you need to figure out, and listeners as well, like to what level is your loyalty, or in this case filial piety, which is what we're discussing.
Yeah.
What is the level? And
Apparently,
and
I'm
what is
feeling
the
as
line?
fuck.
For me, I cannot, man. I think like the heart does not rest, man. That one.
Like,
Okay.
wow.
So
nice,
okay,
bro.
so your one that you just said is very interesting. This one only probably applies to you. This question. So you say you are filial, and therefore you will not report even if they come to you. You will plead ignorance and things like that. But what if
No wonder you
what if you don't like your parents? So if you don't have a good relationship with your parents, so you hate their guts and they've abused you and all that, do you still do it?
Yeah. I think if I hate their guts, I will do it because I'm vindictive. If I'm indifferent about my parents,
I would.
I will plead ignorance. If I love my parents, I plead ignorance.
I see. So that means even though, in your case, even though your filial piety seems quite high, what ranks higher is actually personal relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Seems to be the case. Yes.
But they are quite close, but one is a bit higher than the others.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think
unique to his circumstance only.
For me, I wouldn't be able to sleep if I knew lah. That's
So
the
for
reality
you,
lah.
the filial piety element
It's up to that level.
is not that strong because you say no.
I thought I was actually damn like fucking hardcore. I'll do it for my parents. I'm a son. I'll do all this like shit. Then after that, if I know they do something wrong, right, and it affects other people, right, wow, I think very hard, damn hard for me. I feel like I wouldn't be able to live with myself. A lot of the post decisions that they have made. Sure report, confirm.
Yeah. You know, the reason I asked this question is because I actually tested this on my mom before. It's quite funny and sad at the same time. I asked if I commit a crime, will you report? And they say yes. If your sister commits a crime, will you report? Silent. So that is
you're like-
filial piety right there, man.
No wonder,
that's my
no wonder you're
inspiration.
like, bro, from the get-go, you were saying, yes, I'll report the fuck out of them, bro. I'll report the fuck out of them, bro.
Just wait, you wait. She's like, your mom was quiet.
No, it was some she the gears were grinding lah.
The gears were grinding.
I wonder what
Which is
our
a
mom and dad would
hopeful,
say.
which is in a way a hopeful response. So at least the gears are grinding lah. Right?
Yeah.
Not straight away no or anything.
Yeah.
I wonder what my mom and dad would say. With
Yeah, you ask them lah.
No, dad will report 100%.
No lah. I don't think so. I think
No,
mom and dad
you have to
won't
be
lah.
specific. This is only something you can ask because you know the details. You need to pick someone that your dad loves and respect a lot. Then you pick on that target.
Oh.
These were not even candidates. Let's fucking go.
You guys, you say, yeah, no, I didn't raise my son like that. Whatever lah, right? But you pick someone who is. It could be a friend. Doesn't have to be a family, of course. But
Yeah.
family has the additional.
You have to find the weakness. So I'm assuming your sister is your mom's favorite. That's why.
No, not my sister. Her sister.
Oh, her
Mom's
sister. Oh, okay.
I see.
I thought it's your sister.
Holy shit, bro.
It's my auntie. My auntie.
I think if I asked my mom, right, I'm like, hey mom, if I did a crime, will you report me? So what you do? I'm like, I didn't do anything. It's a hypothetical question. Then my mom be like, don't want to waste time.
Okay.
There we go.
Don't you think? I think that's what mom would say, right? Why ask me stupid questions? Of course not lah. You think I got time for this? That's what she'll say.
Yeah, so answers no.
Yeah. But if I ask my dad would be like, what you do? I'm like,
It's time for you.
it's a
to go to
hypothetical
jail.
question.
But-
Why you waste all your time thinking about stupid questions? Then you just continue watching.
But you know, like one
I cannot get out of
person,
him lah.
one person I want to not call, want to elevate in this is actually Najib's brother, Nazir Razak.
Okay.
Because he, in a way, was someone in this situation.
Mm.
And
He got out of it.
I know people who work with him. And so they told me stories like during when the whole 1MDB saga was going on. I won't share the details after the podcast, but
What?
there was
Wow.
a lot of animosity,
In his book also, he got say
Yeah, I
got
think
arguments and all that.
Yeah. Okay. So then it's public already, right? So let's just say meal times weren't.
Yeah lah. Like he was
About the food
arguing
lah.
with Rosma and the way they. If I'm not actually Andrew's the one that told me, I think, because he read the book. What?
So in this case, he could have,
Yeah, but he didn't report.
but he
mah.
didn't. No. But in the end, he worked with Tong from The Age to expose 1MDB.
Wow, how much Tong pay him? eh?
Wow.
No, they are good friends. Boy, Tong doesn't have to pay. I mean, Nazir is already rich.
Yeah.
Tan Sri is already.
Maybe
Tan
you're
Sri
more.
Nazir. No, they're about this.
Oh,
I mean, the richer one is CIMB, the other is The Age, right? So like he took the step of calling out his own brother. Of course, you can cast a bit of doubt because you might accuse him of, if he gets out of this as the whistleblower or the one who has been calling, then he might look like a hero. So you can cast a bit of doubt on the intentions. I don't think so, but you could. That he's maybe trying to gain some clout by being the one, being the better Razak brother. You know what I mean?
How do you think their dad would have felt?
Oh, it should be damn disappointed. Confirm. What?
Do you think? How do you think the dad would have reacted to this entire fiasco, right, with Najib and his brother Nazir, right? If he was alive to see this, do you think he would be disappointed of the reporting, or would you be disappointed that they didn't go together and work at it together?
I think, I think both.
Wait, what?
The fact that Najib allowed this to happen, plus the infighting was very public.
So you'll be disappointed in two things,
For sure. But I'll be more, I would like to think that the dad would dislike what Najib was doing or not doing more than the second one, which is the public fighting. Public fighting is offshoot, is the derivative of this
the
more
money
central
thing.
problem. So
Shit.
Yeah.
tough questions about the
Yeah, man.
filial
Didn't
piety.
see the conversation turning this way, I can tell you that.
Quite philosophical. Yeah. I suppose I know more about myself. Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah, because it's very interesting because, filial piety is actually one virtue from what Confucius talks about. And so Confucius, one of his, you can say his achievements is that he has this whole hierarchical structure on relationships. So you owe yourself to your parents, then the wife, husband, then subject ruler and things like that. So it looks like a very nice, neat system, but then when you really apply practical pressure to it, then you realize,
It'll crumble.
no, I wouldn't say it crumbles, but you get things like this, like all of us said, wife first.
Yep.
But in China, and I suspect here also a lot of people will say no, mother first.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think majority of people say mother first.
His ex-girlfriend's husband is part of the case.
But do you think like the people you know, both of you also, they would pick their mom?
Yeah, quite a few of them.
Really?
I think so also.
I think our friend group pick our wives lah, bro.
I mean, one of our park group wives pick her mom. So like,
Huh?
talking about one of our park group.
I know. You can tell me later lah, but I'm like,
Yeah,
God, man.
Yeah, of course lah. The wife picked the in-law side. That's why the whole shebang happened. But whatever lah, this is our picture. But I know for a fact, I don't know because this is an Asian context or what. I know for a fact there's a lot of people out there that will pick their mom over their wife. And
Wow,
I think this is because of the nurturing. Like I think my mother nurtured me well. She took care of me well. But I felt that the connection I had with Mel, right, was in a different plane lah. Because I feel so much connection with her. I feel so much love with her that the moment that when I had
if you had to make that decision.
No, when I got married and this order was instilled into you that you have to protect your wife in all
Scenarios
cases,
and
in all scenarios, right? I took that to the grave lah. I took that to my heart lah. So like for them, their mother is always number one. It's like their diamond and stuff like that, right? I don't know. Okay, when they married this specific lady, their wife or what, did they share that same kind of feeling that I had with my wife or not? So it's also, for me, is
Depending on the relationship.
is the level of the connection that you have with your wife also.
How come they never ask girls this question? Your husband or your dad drowning? Why the fuck they never ask this question?
They all got daddy issues. They're probably going to choose the husband.
Whoa.
Dad don't give birth. Dad don't give birth as well.
Yes.
Seems a bit biased, let me.
And honestly, dads are not nearly as demanding as moms are.
Yeah,
Even the dad would volunteer. Man. You're like, just kill me, lah, bro.
Bro, I,
That's what I did, man. I'm like, fuck it, just end
just
me.
kill
lah.
mom. lah. You can't decide. I do it for you.
that's a good question. That's a good question.
Alright, okay.
No, but remember I did that poll on my Instagram.
That was quite a while back.
Yeah, 1 year ago or something. There's I asked what is the most like contentious relationship between like mother and son-in-law, father and son-in-law, father and daughter-in-law, and mother and daughter-in-law. By a factor of 2 or 3 is mother and daughter-in-law.
Bro.
Then followed by I think father and son-in-law. I think.
Really?
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. You're
But
protective. of your daughter.
like a big mile
Yeah, correct.
is mother and
Bro,
daughter-in-law.
mother and daughter-in-law is the most ultima relationship. There are movies made out of this shit, bro.
Yeah. That's why I say
cross.
no one like oppresses women more than women. They really hate each other.
Like he also brought this statement. It was saying how like, have you ever heard of a woman complain about a male boss as often as a woman that complains about a female boss? Yeah, like, oh shit, bro. Actually, complain about female boss is so frequent, bro. I'm like, wow, fuck.
They're all like boss babe, you know, you can do it. They've said nothing nice about their female boss.
Yeah, they're like, you go for it, girl. You go for it, bestie. And then after that, your boss is a girl. No, bitch.
NIMBY, not in my backyard, you know.
Not in my backyard.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I want women rights and women bosses, but not for me specifically, not my company. Yeah, this is very perplexing, you know.
It's perplexing.
Do you all feel
Then we always think like guys are sexist, but then when we ask like both of us, our experience is that one of our best, if not our best boss experience was a lady, right?
the best boss for you? Yes. Yeah, actually me also. Pix was my best boss.
Yeah.
The fuck?
And I don't know if you guys can relate, like if you have
I mean, I had a good manager and she was
was a girl,
female.
yeah.
not bad, not necessarily the best, but not bad, right?
Yeah, better than a lot of the guy bosses I had. The guy bosses I had, I feel like a bit egoistic, a bit. But some very good lah.
Yeah.
But I would never complain, you know. But I feel like I never hear a woman say that my boss was great and she was a good role model, the type of thing. Like it's so foreign to me. It's like almost hearing a different language.
But I feel it's the opposite also. There's like girls would say, I feel girls would say guys are the best boss, right? Because like guy were like, oh man, this is a lady, we have to treat her with respect and shit like that. On the other side, like the girl boss would be like, oh, this young chap, you know, he reminds me of my son. I have to, you know, take care of this guy and stuff like that. It's like that.
No,
lah, bro.
but the point here is, if you're a woman and you have a woman boss, more often than not they complain compared to. Like, I very rare. I never heard of like
But guy also complain about guy.
guy
boss.
complain about guy, but
okay.
guy complain about everything
Okay,
also.
but why
even
I
now,
tell you
think-
that may be true, but that is statistically a bit hard to accept for now because most bosses are guys. So statistically, you will complain about your boss, man.
But I like my guy boss lah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, bro. I don't know.
my previous experiences so
I don't
far.
know. I don't know what's your experience like female.
I've got a lot to say, but I'm not going to say it now.
It's the hey bro, Trump 2.0, bro.
Nah, it's fucking.
Wokenism is dead.
I,
Okay, bro, just let it out, bro.
I think
I'm living it right now. Yeah, I can't say lah.
but previous employers?
Guy boss was my best.
Is it?
Yeah.
But female bosses?
All right.
Alright lah.
All right.
So the question is not about you, but the question is about your experience with female colleagues or friends that you know that shit on or praise their bosses. So for me and MJ, we always observe females, I shan't say who, but if you watched the previous podcast, you would know, about how a lot of females would complain about their bosses if they were female.
I agree with that statement.
All right. So I feel like it's a recurring thing.
Yeah.
Most guys will complain, but maybe I'm saying this out of my good heart, but because the boss is really a shit boss.
Yeah.
But if praise is because it's a good boss, not. But I think more often I never see a girl that go like, "Wow, my boss is fantastic. She's a role model." Nah, very rare. I never heard of it.
God lah, I know lah, but it's rare lah.
Yeah. But I do know this one thing. Male or female, everyone don't like Singaporean bosses.
Yeah.
And we'll end it at that, dog.
Serious, man. It's like listening the whole time. Wow, what crime lah, and then Singapore what fuck, chow wai, throw his airport.
I think you would agree as well.
Singaporean female boss.
Oh, double whammy.
Anal.
Vivo SE.
Vivo
What I
SE.
heard was they're the most.
Actually, no lah. I know a girl. She's a female boss. She's pretty chill. Singaporean. Statistically, she's not. I know one already, so I will say it. She's chill.
broken clock twice. Right, twice a day.
All right lah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Went from filial piety to what? Law and Order, Special
bosses.
Victims Unit at one point. Yeah.
Right. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Tough. You know, we only went one question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We went one question, and then you're like, but what would you do if? Oh my god.
No, that's all I need.
Oh my god.
The fucking worst is a